He was handcuffed, but the police assaulted him until he was a paraplegic.
Stop it!
They were cornering him, as if he had tried to escape when he just wanted to get out of the car as ordered. That's how they ended up breaking his neck without even realizing it.
Stand up!
I could.
Stand up!
I stopped.
You're not doing anything, Donovan.
The officers kept urging Donovan to get up,
Stand up!
but he couldn't move from the waist down, and he could barely speak, something that it took the police officers took a couple of seconds to figure out.
Donovan, stand up. Come on, Donovan. Stand up, Donovan. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Stand up, Donovan. Stand up.
They finally decided to drag him to a wheelchair and, still handcuffed, moved him to a hospital room. No one could appreciate the seriousness of Donovan's condition. The officer had to hold him by the neck so that he wouldn't fall out of the chair, and then, between the two police officers, they lifted him onto the gurney where, not understanding what they had done to him, Donovan Duran would finally learn his unfortunate fate.
I think about my two children. But I'm fighting.
Duran had been denounced by his own father for behaving violently while under the influence of alcohol, and when the authorities arrived, Donovan cooperated with them as best he could, insisting that they take him to jail.
Aw, man.
Go ahead. What's going on, dude? Come on, you tell me what's going on. I don't know. Go ahead. It's all right. Oh, man. You guys go ahead. Go ahead.
If Franker didn't put you in custody right now, there's no reason right now. We're not going to do anything. Yeah, we're not going to do anything right now, man. Yeah, we're not going to do anything.
At first, they were reluctant to arrest him, saying they didn't see a reason to do it, but after a while, oddly enough, they changed their minds.
I was about roughly 1 block away from my father's house. At that time, they told me, Donovan, get on your knees, put your hand behind your back of your head, which I followed all the commands that the police gave me. I got on my knees, I put my hands behind my head. They told me, back up, you're going to jail. I said, okay. I walked backwards. They put me in handcuffs. They wanted to, get me checked out, so they took me to the hospital.
When the arrest took place, everything seemed normal. They even asked him if he was comfortable and feeling okay. However, even though Donovan said he was fine, he wasn't, and his level of inebriation caused him to do things that the officers misinterpreted.
At the hospital, they told me to get out, and at that time, I remember I was so intoxicated. I don't know what got through my head, what I was thinking, but I tried to slip my cuffs. If the audience don't know what that means, it's kind of like put my cuffs in front of me, and I don't know why I was thinking of doing that. I always thought, because I was a professional MMA fighter, and I was always so talented, and I always thought I could just be like, haha, look at me, I got my handcuffs in front of me, but I know I shouldn't have done that, which I tried to do that. So they threw me out of the cop car onto my face, which broke my, it's called a C6, C7 vertebrae.
Between the level of alcohol in his blood and the severe injury he had sustained, Donovan was unable to express himself and was barely moving.
I was laying down and I was crying. I was crying so bad, and they said, Donovan, get up. Officer Fraker said, Donovan, get up. And I told him, I can't. And so they drugged me. finally got the wheelchair, put me in the wheelchair, and they threw me back, and I was kind of dangling because my neck was already broken.
Once in the hospital, he slowly began to come to his senses, barely understanding how he had gotten there, but certain that the prognosis could not be good.
They handcuffed me to the hospital bed. They handcuffed me my other wrist. They handcuffed me to my ankles. So I was like that with a broken neck, and I was just crying. I remember I was in so much agony and so much pain, and I was thinking, like, is this really happening? Like, I was thinking, are these people, like, I'm thinking I'm here at a hospital where they're supposed to save your life when a person is hurt. This is where people get saved and get help. I'm thinking, are these people really gonna let me die here? And I'm thinking, this is a nightmare.
What was supposed to be a simple detox for alcohol turned out to be a radical life change for Donovan Duran, who lost all mobility from the waist down, including that in both of his hands.
I kept telling the cops, please, take me. I kept putting my hands behind my back, telling them, just take me to jail. Just take me to jail. Come on. And Officer Fraker, he said, no, Donovan, we don't want to do this at that time. I kept telling him, come on, just take me. No, Donovan, we don't want to. And I really wish they would have taken me to jail.
When the officers that arrested Donovan dropped him off at the hospital, they both left the scene without filing any kind of report nor record of the arrest. And although there is audiovisual material of everything that happened, the investigative police blocked the information, alleging that it was not of public interest and denying access to Duran's lawyers.
Just can't explain or figure out why they think it wouldn't serve the public interest unless they want to protect the public's sensibilities. The public's got a right to know, the public needs to know if their police agencies are acting properly as they're supposed to serve and protect.
Although the videos were eventually released, attorneys were unsuccessful in bringing charges against the officers responsible for Donovan's paralysis. And while they were placed on administrative leave for a time, there was no punishment, and both eventually returned to their responsibilities as local police officers. And while they carried on as usual, one man's life took an extreme turn with no turning back.
It was just like a nightmare. And me and my mom, my sister, we were just crying. I remember it was like a nightmare. I couldn't believe it. And, my whole life was just, it was just like a couple of seconds. It just happened. The cops just threw me out so fast. My whole life was just torn to pieces. So all I could think about was my baby. So I have my son, and he's barely 1.5 years old, and my daughter, she was just born, like literally like a month old. I was thinking I got 2 babies that I gotta take care of. Now I just try to take it one day at a time.